For today's review, we are looking at the Jakks Pacific Sonic the Hedgehog figure from the Sonic 3 movie, and before I talk about the figure, let's take a quick look at the packaging that he comes in. And of course, it is the standard card back style packaging, and on the front side you do have your cast of characters from this movie, and on the back side you do have an image of the action figure, and it does say 22 points of articulation, and on the side over here there is a read-up translated into multiple languages, and let's read what it says. Sonic is on a roll, saved the world twice, but who's counting? And has two besties for his team, but will they be enough to handle a devastating new threat? And on the bottom of this card back, you do have a lineup of all the other figures in this wave, which I have done reviews for a few of them, such as Super Shadow, Super Sonic, and Knuckles, and I will have a review for Shadow very soon. So stay tuned. And that is the packaging. Let's move on to the aesthetics of this figure. Taking a closer look at Sonic here, one thing I love about these movie figures, which I've said in my previous reviews, is I love the fact that there is a lot of sculpted details throughout the entirety of the figure. After all, it's not an easy thing to do when you take a 3D CGI model with a lot of realistic looking fur design and translating that into plastic form. And I think the approach that Jakks Pacific took here was the best approach, and overall the figure does look really good and it still stands out, and it does do a good job representing the movie design in action figure form. And the other detail that I also like about these movie figures are the eyes. As you can see, it looks like it has like some sort of depth to it because they added this plastic lens over the eyes, which is something that they did with these Super Mario movie figures as well. And this is something that the mainline figures don't have for Sonic, where the eyes are just like printed on and it's like a flat surface. So having this clear lens does make the eyes stand out a lot more as well. And the overall aesthetics here, as you can see, it is Sonic the Hedgehog. He is a blue hedgehog. He does have a different colored patch of fur for his torso, and the back of his head does have some details as well. Now, I'm not an expert when it comes to hedgehog anatomy, so I don't know what these black parts are for the back of his head. Do tell me what those are in the comments below. And he does have his tail right there. And as you can see, he does have his white gloves that he's wearing and his signature shoes in the red and white color. The socks here are also textured as well. And even the bottom of the shoes have texturing done to it. So yeah, the amount of details that are present throughout the entire sculpt of this figure is just great. And yeah, there's nothing more I can say. They did a really good job here with the aesthetics of this figure. And let's move on to the articulation. Starting with the articulation of his head sculpt, Sonic does have some restrictions. Unfortunately, he can't really look up all the way, and he can't exactly look down all the way either. So the only range of motion that he has is turning his head left and right, and tilting his head side to side. Moving on to the articulation of the arms, he does have butterfly joints here. As you can see, they're very loose. He can spread his arms upward this much. He does have a upper bicep swivel right there, which does move, as you can see. He does have a single jointed arm, which also has swivel here, I believe. Yes, it does work. And then for the hands, there's also swivel, wrist articulation, and of course the articulation with the fingers. So not bad for the arms. And moving on to his torso, he does have a cut right here which allows him to rotate a little bit. Not a whole lot. As you can see, it does break up the sculpting of the bottom part of his torso. So yeah, very restrictive rotation, but it does move. So there's that articulation. And moving on to his legs, he can do the splits, as you can see. Not bad. He can also kick out this much. He does have die cuts, so he does have a swivel with the legs. He does have single jointed, and there is a rotation down here as well. And then for his shoes, he does have a little bit of movement down here and swivel. And that's pretty much all the articulation for Sonic the Hedgehog. And let's move on to some comparisons. For the first comparison, here he is next to his light-up version counterparts, and there are some differences between these two versions of the figure, which I will go in depth with when I do a review on this version in the future. So there they are together, and of course here's the little gimmick, right? It does light up. So that is the first comparison. And for the second one, here he is next to his super form, which does look pretty good next to the regular version of him when he's not using that power. So there's that comparison. And now here he is next to his besties, as he calls them. So let's start with Knuckles. And it feels really great to finally have a Sonic and Knuckles duel on the shelf. And it's the regular version of Sonic, not his super form. So really happy to have this, version of him where his facial expression is him being very happy and smiling, because, the serious look is cool, but it's not his regular look, right? Because in most images, when you see Sonic, he is always smiling. So there's that. And I'm really happy to complete this. And now, here he is next to Tails. And the reason why I got that 4-pack was for Tails, because I don't have a Tails figure, and unfortunately I did not get the individual release version of the Tails figure with the smiling face. This one has a serious look, but there they are together. And for the last figure, here he is, of course, next to the character that he fights in this movie, and it is Shadow. So there they are together. And there are the comparisons for today's review. And if you found today's review on the Sonic the Hedgehog figure from the Sonic 3 movie line informative, do give this video a like. If you want to subscribe to the channel for more action figure content and whatever else I do on here, it would be much appreciated. And with that said, take care, and I will see you in the next video.